Welcome to another episode on the Rock and Roll Flashback podcast with your host, Jumpin John McDermott.
Thank you for that introduction and welcome to Rock and Roll Flashback. I'm Jumpin John, and in this episode I will highlight the career of the New Jersey band known as the Rascals. In his 1997 speech inducting the Rascals into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Stevie Van Zandt boldly called the Rascals, and I quote, "the first rock band in the world," end quote. Here is how it all started for the Rascals. In 1964, Felix Cavaliere joined Joey D's backing band, the Starlighters, where he met Starlighter David Brigatti. When the group played the Choo Choo Club in New Jersey, Cavaliere met Brigatti's younger brother, Eddie, who wanted to follow in his brother's footsteps. The next year, in 1965, Canadian-born guitarist Gene Cornish joined the Starlighters. Cavaliere decided to form a new group, persuading Cornish to join him along with jazz drummer Dino Danelli. With the addition of Eddie Brigatti on vocals, the new group's lineup was in place, however they had no bass player. So in a manner similar to Ray Manzarek of The Doors, the bass parts of the Rascals' songs would primarily be handled by Felix Cavaliere's organ. The foursome initially called themselves Them, but when they discovered that there was already a band using that name, they became the Rascals. The band began rehearsing and played engagements at clubs like the Choo Choo in Garfield, New Jersey, and on Long Island at the Barge in West Hampton, New York. They also had gigs backing TV star Soupy Sales at live engagements, mostly on college campuses. Their initial musical style was covering R&B and soul tunes. In August 1965, their manager, Billy Smith, introduced the band to promoter Sid Bernstein. Bernstein and Smith came up with a publicity stunt of posting the phrase, "The Rascals are coming," on Shea Stadium's scoreboard at the same time that the Beatles were doing the opening of their 1965 North American tour. Beatles manager Brian Epstein ordered the post to be removed before his band arrived on the stage. Nevertheless, this event created enough excitement that the group obtained a contract with Atlantic Records. Sid Bernstein would manage them for the next 5 years with Billy Smith as their publicist and promotion advisor. The contract also stipulated that the band could self-produce their records. After signing with Atlantic, a group called the Harmonica Rascals demanded the new group change their name to avoid any confusion, and Bernstein changed their billing to the Young Rascals. Eddie Brigatti sang lead vocals on the Young Rascals' debut single, "I Ain't Gonna Eat Out My Heart Anymore."
Yeah, I admit you got the biggest brown eyes and you know how to part your lips to tantalize. Sure.
On February 24th, 1966, the song was performed in their first television performance on the program Hullabaloo. The single reached number 23 in Canada but failed to break into the top 40 of the U.S. charts. From that point onward, Felix Cavaliere would often take on the lead vocals on their subsequent records. On February 1st, 1966, the band recorded a follow-up single, Good Lovin', with Felix singing the lead. It was released on February 21st, and on March 20th, the Young Rascals performed Good Lovin' on The Ed Sullivan Show.
1, 2, 3, good love. Good love. Good love. Good love.
Good Lovin' quickly became a nationwide hit, reaching number 1 in the Billboard Pop Singles chart in the spring of 1966. It also reached number 1 in Canada. Good Lovin' would later be listed as one of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. It would also be ranked number 333 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time list. The band's debut album, The Young Rascals, was released on March 28, 1966. The Young Rascals reached number 15 on the Billboard Top LPs chart and number 10 in Cashbox. The album was eventually certified gold by the RIAA. From there, the songwriting partnership between Felix Cavaliere and Eddie Brigati took off. The band's second album, Collections, had 4 Cavaliere Brigati songs and 2 Cornish originals in its 11 tracks. 2 singles were released from the album. You Better Run reached number 20, and Come On Up peaked at number 43. 1967 turned out to be a banner year for the Young Rascals. I've Been Lonely Too Long was released on January 9th. It reached number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 7 in Canada.
I've been lonely too long. I've been lonely too long. In the past they've come and gone. I feel like I can't go on without love. Been lonely too long. Been lonely too long. I've been lonely too long. Been lonely. As I look back, I can see me lost and searching. Now I find that I can choose. I'm free. Oh, yeah. So funny, I just have to laugh. All my trouble been torn in half. I've been lonely too long.
Then came 3 singles released from the Groovin' album.
I don't know what it's all about, but I feel I'll soon find out. I'm sure never felt this secure. It's nothing like I ever thought it would be. Someone opened up a door for me, a girl like you. Girl like you, must be you that caused this feeling in me. You that fills me confidently. You that brings the best out of me. Nobody but you.
The 3 singles included A Girl Like You, which reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, and How Can I Be Sure, which Eddie Brigati sang, and which reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100.
How can I be sure in a world that's constantly changing? How can I be sure where I stand with you? Whenever I'm away from you, I wanna die, 'cause you know I wanna stay with you. How do I know? Maybe you're trying to use me. Flying too high can confuse me. Touch me, but don't take me down.
On March 27th, 1967, the band had recorded the song called Groovin'. It was released as a single on April 10th and on May 20th became their second number 1 single in the U.S.
Grooving on a Sunday afternoon. Really couldn't get away too soon. I can't imagine anything that's better. The world is ours whenever we're together. having you. Do it. Anything we like to do. There's always lots of things that we can see. We can be anyone we'd like to be. And all those happy people we could meet just moving on a Sunday.
Groovin' would end up being their highest charting single in the UK, reaching number 8. The Groovin' LP marked the first time that the Young Rascals used outside musicians, bringing some important collaborators like Chuck Rainey, Hubert Laws, and David Brigatti to augment their sound. Particularly, David Brigatti would also help his brother's band in arranging vocal harmonies and singing background on many Rascals records. The album itself would eventually be certified gold by the RIAA after selling over 500,000 copies. The band decided to depart from their singles act label to be more like an albums act. The result was the 1968 album, Once Upon a Dream. It became the first Rascals album designed from conception as an album rather than as a vehicle to package their singles. Once Upon a Dream also incorporated Indian music in its sound by adding Eastern instruments. The psychedelic It's Wonderful was released before the album, but the single only reached number 20. Interestingly, the album's song My Hawaii became a top of the charts hit in Hawaii. Also significantly, the band would bill themselves as the Young Rascals for the last time with the single release of It's Wonderful. From that point on, they were known simply as the Rascals.